Hey everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another video. I hope you are all doing well today. The perfect time to review some of her most iconic looks ever, some of her best fashion moments. No matter the occasion or the event, she always manages to look polished and poised and graceful. She has a great feminine aesthetic to her style, and even in something like an evening gown or a really fancy gala or state dinner where she's looking incredibly elegant like she does always, but even in those moments, she doesn't lose that beautiful approachability that she is known for. So she has an impeccable sense of style and is so thoughtful and careful with her wardrobe, probably thanks to a good amount of help from stylists or advisors, sure, but that doesn't change the fact that she carries off these outfits beautifully and that she herself clearly has a great style aesthetic and sense of style herself. So let's begin here with one of the most iconic and fabulously famous looks from her. This red workwear outfit is one of the internet's absolute favorites, and I think it's in part because this is easy to recreate. It's an accessible silhouette and it's comprised of versatile pieces, so it's like really shoppable, you know what I mean? It's a turtleneck and a pleated midi skirt that can be dressed up or dressed down. It's in a monochrome look, which means it's easy to pair up with other things in your wardrobe. You can pair a solid skirt with a top that has a pattern with just that color to pick it up. Really versatile pieces for a wardrobe. So it's a very shoppable outfit for people, and I think that's part of why the internet went wild for it. And of course, she looks impeccable in it. Red is a great power color and it suits her beautifully. And I think that shoppability factor is something that people notice and appreciate when they see her in something that they too could wear or buy or find in their local stores and in affordable levels too. But I mean, primarily it's probably just how radiant she looked in it, why this outfit became so famous. On the other hand, this one is a bespoke version of an Ellie Saab resort wear dress, so not quite as accessible and easy to find, but this Mary Poppins-esque dress has really grown on people. At first, much of the internet was split. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people were like, I'm not too sure. I think the necktie maybe threw some people off, but imagine it without it, it wouldn't have been quite as iconic. When she re-wore this outfit though, this dress, the reception was widely positive. People were fully on board with it by that point. It combines really feminine details and whimsical patterns and textures in this really pretty cornflower blue hue that's really like soothing. So it has this perfectly handsome balance to it. It's really gorgeous. My personal favorites is this yellow dress. It was a really windy day when she first wore this, so she put her hair into a quick, simple, no-fuss ponytail, and it ended up transforming this look into a sleek, polished statement, truly fashion icon moment here. The bright color brings this amazing pop, and then combined with the otherwise simple silhouette, it's sort of a modern interpretation of the Queen's wardrobe technique of wearing something that's clearly very flattering to her. She kind of had her silhouettes sorted out of the outfits that she knew worked well for her on her small frame, but she would wear them in mostly monochrome, really, really bright colors a lot of the time, or just beautiful colors. And it was head to toe. The hat pretty much always matched the outfit. So this sort of drew a parallel to that in part because the color is so bright and bold, and the silhouette itself, it's all monochrome and it's pretty simple. So I feel like this was one of those moments where people drew that parallel, that it's sort of Kate's version of that same or similar technique. This next piece is by Erdem, and it is not a dress. It is actually a top and a skirt, and that detail alone made it instantly iconic. This perfect set was beautifully tailored and a fresh take on the usual go-to of A-line dresses, so I would really like to see this one pulled out again. It's not only a beautiful pattern, but that freshened it up instantly. At this event, Catherine had typically worn green in years past, but for her first year as Colonel of the Irish Guards, she went in this gorgeous teal blue. And it's a perfectly tailored coat, impeccably well done, but the special feature of it is that this color matches the plumes on their hats and their regimental badge, which was a really lovely touch for her to do. And this thoughtful wardrobe approach is really huge in her success. She always nods to the event with subtle details, and she almost gives like Easter egg vibes, which really elevate her presence, but also like the internet goes ham for that. The way that she has little hints and little hidden messages in her outfits that if you really pay attention and look, it's always something special, always bringing honor to the event or respectful of the place that she's visiting or things like that. It doesn't only elevate her presence, it also demonstrates her dedication and her thoughtfulness that she puts into each and every event or engagement that she does. This is really continuing on and sort of maybe even branching out from the Queen's tradition of carefully and meticulously honoring her host countries when she would go on tours and when she was traveling. She always made sure that her outfits, even down to her hats, were nods to and showing respect and appreciation for the host nation she was visiting. Another really iconic look is this royal blue coat she has worn 3 times so far, so it's clearly one of her favorites, and it doesn't just fit like a glove. It is also such an impactful color. It's bright but serene and exceptionally regal. It really makes her like hair and skin tone pop really nicely. It feels almost a little bit festive, but it's just a royal blue. It's like a really perfect blue. It's gorgeous. And this particular coat also has a little bit of added interest because the lapel is done in an interesting fashion, and perhaps blue is just one of her favorite colors to wear or something like that because she's reworn it in closer succession than we normally see her do. Now, besides being easy to dress, because she of course has nice balanced proportions, she has great height, she's quite tall, she's thin, she has a well-defined waist, all of those sorts of things that make it easy to wear a wide variety of silhouettes and clothes. Going to be easier to dress than those of us who have to hem everything we buy or can't necessarily fit perfectly off the rack. Not that she does either. She clearly tailors her outfits to her. She has certain details added in, certain things changed ever so slightly to really customize it to her that add a special touch and make it look so much nicer and more polished on her when she's wearing it than it would otherwise. So besides that, she also has struck a really careful balance between the elevated role that she is in, where magnificent clothes and glamorous events complete with tiaras and a really high profile is the norm for her, with her really warm and grounded personality. Her genuine nature and vibe that people can connect with is not muted out or taken over or disrupted by these glamorous gowns and whatnot that we're going to look at next. She manages to still bring them into feeling very much true to her and not stuffy, not over the top, never looking fussy or pretentious in her clothes, even when they are exceptionally glamorous. And it's far too easy to fall into that trap and become really unrelatable. But she masterfully communicates the exact opposite. She's very relatable, even when dressed to the nines. And one of the ways that she does that is by mixing high-low, like for example in this outfit at the BAFTAs in 2023. She wore Zara earrings, so they were affordable earrings with this fabulous evening gown and dramatic opera gloves. By doing that, she's kind of aiding to that more grounded, unstuffy, relatable vibe, but it goes beyond that. It's also just about the style choices she makes and the way she carries them off. This Goldfinger Jenny Packham dress is definitely one of the most famous looks. She wore this to the James Bond premiere and it just had the hugest impact ever. The pattern really accentuates her figure in a really dramatic and powerful way, but it was also incredibly impactful because it was the first proper evening gown she was seen in like 18 months post-COVID. So her return to the red carpet was truly electrifying in this dress. A fan favorite of Catherine's wardrobe is this black Alexander McQueen dress for very obvious reasons. And at this point, it was like 2019, and it was a really unique piece in her collection. The sweetheart neckline and of course the texture and lace overlay gave this evening gown a really romantic feel, and it was definitely something a little bit new for her at the time. And in a true princess moment, this green Jenny Packham off-the-shoulder tulle dress made a big statement in Jamaica. Her styling was absolutely perfect for it, and it really reminds me of the silhouettes that we saw a lot on a young Queen Elizabeth. Catherine has done less of, in part because of like fashion evolution, it's less in style to wear the really big skirts, but she also hadn't really done a lot of these really dramatic skirts and silhouettes, so I really just love how fabulous and fun this one is, while still being regal and elegant. It just has that bit of a playful vibe to it. I think from the ruffled tulle off the shoulder band, it's kind of giving a bit of fun to the dress. In another really glamorous evening gown, we have this satin dress that was such gorgeous fabric and had this amazing flow, this icy blue shade. It gave it full modern Cinderella. The only thing that would have taken it further into the Cinderella status would have been an updo and a little tiara. One of her earlier most show-stopping evening looks that has been repeated was the ever-romantic Jenny Packham aspen gown with so much interest of texture and layering. There's lace and chiffon and velvet and a bejeweled belt in this really beautiful turquoise shade that complemented her figure beautifully. This could have easily gotten a little overwhelming, but by everything being in the exact same color tone, it didn't overwhelm. It looked amazing and it just had all this gorgeous interest. It was a showstopper. Sparking a huge reaction on social media comes this next gown. It had this pink pearlescent finish that is so ethereal and flattered her figure perfectly. It has such a gorgeous modern design to it that was not overly embellished or fussy while still being incredibly fancy and elegant and having lots of interest. It was just an amazing amount of balance here. Very modern, very gorgeous, and social media went ham for it. Another iconic evening wear look from Catherine the Princess of Wales is this Alexander McQueen just absolutely dreamy gown that she wore first with a white sparkling belt, and then a decade later for Prince William's launch of Earthshot, she wore it with a more gold-toned belt that time. The flow of this fabric plays a huge role in the dress's success because it's just so flowy and gorgeous and luscious looking, but it's also kind of a simple dress in a way, so it looks like subtly regal. It looks comfortable. It has amazing movement. She looks like she's gliding in this dress. It's fabulous. It was also really strategic wearing it for the second time for something really significant. 10 years on, for the launch of the Earthshot Prize, it ensured additional media coverage for the event, for the Earthshot Prize, by bringing back this wow moment dress all of a sudden out of nowhere. So that was not only a nod to sustainability by rewearing, which obviously, I get it, that's on a very small scale compared to most of our everyday, but it is significant and it was really strategic because it did garner additional press coverage. Next, we have an incredibly significant moment for her. She wore this Jenny Packham caped gown for her first state dinner as Princess of Wales, which will always be a really important look when you look back at Catherine the Princess of Wales's fashion history. The look itself really rose to the occasion, elevating her to full princess vibes with an incredibly majestic gown here. And another important and impactful look was what she wore for Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. It was steeped in tributes to the late monarch, utterly graceful, poignant, and impeccably beautiful. Some of her best casual looks also set the internet afire and became really iconic because, again, it's that relatability factor. It's the types of clothes that we all wear on the daily, and she's so comfortable in it and wearing stuff that's so practical and normal that it's clear this is also what she wears on the daily. It's not like she looks out of place wearing jeans and a t-shirt. She looks completely at home and comfortable in these clothes, which furthers her reputation as somebody who is relatable and down to earth. So this blush blazer jacket hybrid with jeans and the simple wardrobe staples of ladies everywhere with a white t-shirt and trainers demonstrates one of my favorite wardrobe hacks, but is also, like I said, an incredibly relatable outfit. A blazer or blazer type jacket like this is an incredibly easy and comfortable way to elevate and polish up any outfit. If you're feeling like a little bit of a hot mess, you feel like you don't have your stuff together, you're getting ready in a hurry, you just don't feel very polished wearing just a t-shirt and jeans, for example, you can sharpen up a casual look by popping on a blazer or a blazer jacket like this. Something that's tailored to you or fits you really, really well just instantly adds polish. You will immediately look with it and together. This floral smocked midi dress with a square neckline and puff sleeves is one of her most loved looks by people, in large part because it's an everyday silhouette or item. You can literally find a dress like this anywhere. Target sells dresses just like this. I mean, obviously this one's a little bit more fanciful or more elevated and expensive, but this sort of silhouette is easy to find. Ladies anywhere and everywhere can find one in a pattern or a solid that they like. So it was a really successful look for her. It was a fun and beautiful print for her, but it also was another instance of people being able to see that and be like, I can wear that. I can recreate that. And clothing like this and situations like this just really help people feel more connected to you. And it shows your character when you're not constantly wearing stuff that's overly fussy or overdone or dressing over the occasion, meaning you're dressing too fancy for any given occasion. You're wearing something out of place. No, she dresses for the occasion. She looks appropriate for it. This was the perfect option for it. It's what is practical for the given moment. And so that helps as well. Another dress that really sent the internet into a tizzy was this casual maxi dress with a very pretty print that she wore to William's polo match last summer. It had a cool and airy vibe, it looked fabulously comfy, and I believe this was from a relatively affordable brand as well. Here we have this beautiful soft pink pantsuit with a classical silhouette that's made completely feminine and fresh with this color. It really does feel super feminine and fresh in an otherwise basic pantsuit. It once again felt like an updated, personalized take on the Queen's wardrobe approach of monochrome, a beautiful color head to toe, a nice polished, tailored look. She also debuted this beautiful blue suit this past fall and this purple suit over the winter that were similar in spirit and very successful. A big reason for the success of those suits is that she matches the pieces with it perfectly, so she can wear different heels, different belts, different shirts underneath, but keep those suit pieces standard across each wear. But she's also really careful to make sure that they are tailored to her well. We're never seeing her in stuff that's too long, too big, too wide, frumpy looking. It just doesn't happen. The next couple of outfits were a little bit more polarizing, but were impactful in part because they stirred up some discussion amongst people. This next outfit had the internet completely divided. It was a bit daring and different for her, and for anybody, it was a unique silhouette. These forest green culottes, which culottes, if you don't know, are cropped wide-leg trousers, were a very new and unique option for her. But they are perfectly well balanced with this chunky heel and slim fit plum-colored top. I absolutely love the feminine touch of the scalloped edge and texture of the top, which helped to prevent the trousers' volume from dominating the look entirely. It drew attention to her wrists and her arms and her torso, rather than you just resting on the culottes themselves, which may have been a little imposing for some. Some people really didn't like the look of them, but I think that this created great balance and looked just fine for her. Teal green dress with the gorgeous lace was a huge hit on their tour of India, her and Prince William's tour, but it was not the most flattering cut around the bust, so while it's a lovely dress, I think it could use an adjustment before she rewears it. It is incredibly unique and beautiful though. More outfits that really reached legendary status were this off-the-shoulder Barbara Casasola dress that felt bold and fashion-forward. It achieved great balance with the skirt to the exposed shoulder and has a great amount of interest without becoming overwhelming or too busy. This one looked both comfortable and sexy, but still really polished and classy. This pink ombre gown has a really unique design around the shoulders and bodice that helped it along in terms of its interest and people's reaction to it, but its delicate pink princess vibe is what really made it a success. And this angelic Alexander McQueen maternity dress was in a blush chiffon with intricate embellishments that created not only a gorgeous silhouette, but was a very successful dress option for pregnancy too. So it became iconic in part because what a glamorous and perfect example for a beautiful maternity dress. One of last year's best and absolutely most fabulous looks was this Cezanne sweater skirt set. This luxurious midi skirt and jumper were completely new and different for her, something we hadn't really ever seen her wear for any sort of an engagement at least. It's flattering, it's beautiful, it struck the right balance between casual and elegant, it looks graceful and comfortable, and it's really her own take on quiet luxury, something that is not super overpriced. It's not mixing something that's a really expensive item but wearing it in a casual way. It's rather choosing something that looks elegant and luxurious but is pretty basic when you think about it. It's a ribbed jumper with button details and a midi skirt. And it's from Cezanne, which is a more accessible brand. It's still kind of expensive, but it is much more affordable than like real designer stuff. Next up, let's take a look at another one of my favorites. It's just such a refined and polished look. It's so classy and gorgeous. This is a houndstooth dress by Amelia Wickstead. It is truly one of my absolute favorites I've ever seen her wear. It's so fabulous in every way. And this mint green self-portrait dress with pleated chiffon skirt was thoroughly admired by the internet with its cheerful spring look and perfect spring inspiration for us all. What are some of your most favorite looks from Catherine the Princess of Wales? Some of the most iconic moments you can really think of? Of course, you can think back, there's so many. There's a plethora of truly remarkable outfits that she has had that were our favorites, our personal favorites, something we think, oh, I could wear that, I would buy that, or things that, as this list showed, the internet went wild for and really demonstrate her sense of style and what communicates and connects with the public in terms of a positive reaction. As such a stylish and important woman, her best style accessory besides Prince William has always been her beautiful, genuine smile. While we are all so excited to see her back in the public sphere and ready to see not only more great work from her, genuine smiles from her, and joy, but also, of course, gorgeous, fabulous outfit inspiration for us all. But most importantly, we are excited to see her well and know that she is doing better and has recovered fully, and that is what's most important, that she has good health going forward. So thank you all so much for joining me for this special fashion edition. Don't forget to leave your favorite outfits below from this video or your own personal favorite looks from her, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye!